Hi there. Donna and I are sitting here in sunny Florida a week after Hurricane Irma, so you may hear some noise in the background here as they're fixing a roof next door. But we also thought that it would be great for you to have a little bit of, put a smile on your face, because you may be watching this with snow outside. So we wanted to go over some tidbits that might help you be a great meet referee. Even if you've experienced that before, you may be brand new, so this may be a really big help to you. So Donna, why don't you start off?
The first thing I like to do when I arrive at the site is go and introduce myself to both the head coaches. And then I like to find out who the meet director is for that meet and discuss with them the scoring, the flashing, the inquiry process, how that's going to work at this meet. It might be different if you're a walk-around meet ref or if you are a judging meet ref. The next thing I like to do is check the score sheets for the correct events and the correct spelling of the judges' names and their ratings. It's much easier to correct this at the beginning before scores are entered into the score sheet.
I think it's also good for the meet ref, you know in advance if you are the meet ref, to make sure that you printed off a copy of the meet referee checklist. That was done so that every meeting would be done exactly the same. And don't forget, just because it may be later in the season, you make an assumption that everybody's been through this over and over again, that the players are not always the same. There's a different mixture of judges at different meets. So please make sure that you follow that procedure from the beginning, the first meet of the season, to the very end.
In some places they do give you the meet ref checklist, but I, as always, try to carry a couple extra copies with me. Remember that as you go through the checklist, it needs to be turned into the score table after you've had your meeting.
One thing that people don't think about, now we've already asked you to make sure you have the checklist with you, but one thing some people don't realize is that as a meet ref, you should stand during that meeting. It just gives it a little more professionalism rather than just sitting around and just being like around a kitchen table. So you want to stand up. It just gives you that leadership position. And make sure you allow everybody to introduce themselves, what event they're on, where they're from, just very short and succinct. And then take the list and start going through the things. You don't have to necessarily spend a lot of time on each thing, but you must cover each of the items on there. You want to talk about the logistics of the meet. Make sure that if it's televised, that they know that it's televised and how that's going to operate. You also want to pass around the score sheets so that they can double check their spelling of their name and their rating as well. So you just want to go through each one. At this point, I'm not going to go through each one that's on the checklist because that's something you can do in advance. But go through each one, check it off, and then sign it and take it to the scoring table on your way out to the beginning of the meet so that they know that you're telling them that everything on here has been covered.
And Evelyn, did the coaches help write that list?
I'm glad you asked that. Not only did they ask it, but they were the ones that wanted this done. We submitted the order and what was to be covered. They added, they subtracted. So this is a joint summary of everything the coaches and Donna and I felt needed to be done.
Now,
I forgot where we're going to start.
we're going to do some outtakes.